All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Harakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and others, a great millstone. Peace, love, and blessings to the hopeful elect scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We're just going to do, Lord willing, just a quick lesson. Lord willing, let's edify. All right, we just got this article right here from the New York Post. And it says, Cuomo begs rich New Yorkers to leave Hamptons, which what you got going on right now is, all the shit that's going on over there in New York. All these rich people are basically dipping out. All right, they don't want to be there anymore. You have all kinds of stuff that's going on right now. They're defunding the police. The crime rate is going up. It said that, I read an article basically that the crime rate in rich places has gone up super high because you got regular people that's going into these so-called rich communities and mugging people and shit. So what you see is basically Esau dipping out. Because they see what's on the horizon. They see that they're gonna get sacked. They don't want to stick around for that. They see that they're being taxed or whatever. They're the pillars of whatever's upholding fucking whatever's left in these different cities. You had in California, you had a mass exodus. They call it a mass exodus of Californians that left California to go to these different states. And as things continue to go on, you're gonna see these things happen more and more, especially in places like California and New York, because they're the worst places to be right now. Anyways, like this thing's gonna go everywhere. And as it tells you in the scriptures, the merchants and the rich people are gonna fucking bounce, man. They ain't gonna stick around here. They said they're gonna watch this place burn from afar off. They're going to be weeping and crying, watching this place getting blown to hell and back.
Yeah, let me get that.
Come on.
This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse 8. It says, therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, who judgeth her.
Yeah, her is talking about Babylon, right? America. Go ahead.
And the kings of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yeah, who's the ultimate merchant is Esau, man. He's the ultimate merchant. He's the forerunner of all these so-called Fortune 500 companies, all these big corporations and banks that basically run this place and run the world. It's Amalek, man. It's Esau.
This is Zephaniah 1:11. Howl ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, and all they that bear silver are cut off.
And that's what basically, what's gonna happen when America is destroyed. Because this is a money machine, man. America's a giant money machine that all these different kings and rich people of the earth have basically gone, as they say, laid in bed with. Got in bed with, got under the sheets with this woman, this harlot, that does fornication with all these different nations, man. And that fornication is the different philosophies and dealings that America has with these other nations, man. Which is why you see all these different nations that have democracies and presidents and, you know, elections and different things like that set up in their countries, and they have central banks, and they have these different corporations doing business there, McDonald's and Burger King and fashion clothing lines and all this stuff, and converting all these people into wicked demons, man. You know, you have people that have strong beliefs in certain things, and then what Esau infects them, and their population starts to become more and more fucking Americanized, man. And that's what you see. That's what you've seen happening all around the world. And now everything's being brought to the light. Everything's being brought out. You know, that Esau has been basically with his philosophies and his wine, you know, which is the same thing. We'll just call it wine. With his wine, has been making these people drunk off of it, and degenerating them. All right. You got these nations that are helping Esau to destroy the world for what? Gain, for money, for power.
This is Psalm 58:3. It says, the wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies.
Speaking lies. What do they say? If you follow our ways, then you'll be industrialized. You'll be able to enjoy the comforts that America enjoys, you know. Which, when you come to America, you see that it's not what they push it in the media, because Esau also owns the media, so he controls the narrative. So he makes it look like America is this great fucking golden city, and it's not. You come here and you see Jake catching hell, you see all kinds of people catching hell, especially now. All right, you see poverty, you see, you know, the oceans are all fucking jacked up, the beaches are all jacked up, you know, the people are all messed up and bugged out and hate themselves and are all on drugs and shit. And you see, like, if you go from a country that doesn't really have social media or media in general, and come over here, it's a completely different world, man, full of maniacs. You go from like West Africa, in a village in Africa, in a place where they don't really deal with the internet and things like that. You bring somebody from there over to here, they'll look around and be like, fuck, this place is crazy as hell, man.
Yep. Verse 4. That's the point. Their poison is like the poison of a serpent. They are like the deaf adder that stoppeth their ear. And the point is that poison, you know, that poison is Esau's philosophy. And not all poisons kill you instantly. They kill you over time. So you people are being fed this poison, these philosophies, that eventually it's going to kill you. Eventually, you know. Because like the brother was saying, wherever you go in America, somebody's bugged out in one way or another. And their bugged outness, if they don't find the Lord and repent, they just get more and more wicked till eventually they get judged. You know, somebody that's an alcoholic, well, all they know is to be an alcoholic. Eventually they're just going to do something when they're drunk and, you know, get judged, or they might just drink themselves until that poison you know, destroys their kidneys, their liver. And that's all that really is being pushed here in America, Babylon, is ways that are against the Lord, which lead to death. Mm-hmm. As the scripture says, you know, they that hate me love death. And that's exactly what America pushes here, is to do what you want to do. Be as thou wilt. Do as thou wilt. Do what makes you feel good. But everything that isn't right according to the scriptures is going to lead to your death. You could do things that you like, that are righteous according to the scriptures, but there's a lot of pleasures that you could be given into that lead to death according to the scriptures. Mm-hmm. And every way that's against the Lord is death.
Yeah, because what this place, what you gotta, you know, you especially you, somebody that is from a totally different country. This is Babylon the Great, man, and you could clearly see it when you come here, because what the philosophy that they push, like the brother said, is do as thou wilt. That spirit that they push, that wine that they push, is basically you're a god. You can do whatever the hell you want to do. You know, they push that spirit of partying. You know, you may not even be fucking depressed, but the spirit that they push is to be an alcoholic. You know, the more that you can drink, the cooler you are. Like, oh yeah, you fucking nobody can hang with Sammy because Sammy just be slamming shots all night. Then he drinks a Red Bull, and you know he's drinking from 5 o'clock till 8 in the morning and shit. You know, and then everybody will be like, yeah, he goes hard, and they'll and he'll want to keep doing that more and more. Because that spirit that's pushed on him is the spirit, like, they like to hang around him because he's always getting drunk. They like to hang around because he's always got bottles on him. He's always fucking drinking or doing drugs. You know, like a drug dealer. A drug dealer has all kinds of people around him because he's got fucking drugs, man. That's a form of power. Go ahead.
And that's what America's about, especially in its last leg. Like Rome was about. When Rome started to die, what they pushed heavily to not only keep the people blind, but to somewhat help their economy that was dying. Because the same way America's dying is the same way ancient Rome died. Okay, the military was spread out. You know, the economy started dying off to where they had to diminish and lower the economy down to, I believe, a fucking copper penny. When in those times, everybody understood that silver and gold was principal currency, you know. But back to what I was trying to say was, the way Rome fell, when it started to really fall, what they pushed was a bread and circus spirit. And here in America, Babylon, that's the last thing these people have going for them, is to be totally engulfed in drugs and partying and bullshit. You know, this is Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication.
Right, because how did they get all of these riches in the first place? Was through bloodshed, was through what brothers always say, rape, robbery, and murder. That's how, you know, that's why it says the cup was full of abominations, man. Because the way that they got everything that they got was through witchcraft, was through murder, was through robbery, all right, and through destroying the land. Okay, that's how they got everything that they got, all the pearls and jewels. So they got all this nice stuff, but the way that they got it is full of wickedness, right? And none of it was theirs in the first place. They fucking stole everything. They stole everything. And then after they stole everything and took over everything, they gave you people jobs. And they gave you people houses. And what it is they own all this land. They own all these houses, these apartments, these buildings, these businesses, and you are just slaves, because all the money that you make is their money. You give it right back to them, and they tax you. They tax you on the money that you give, the money that you give them. They tax you on even that, so you don't get anything. All you get is useless shit. They give you a television so that they can program your ass with it, so that you can fucking buy more shit and be more fucking depressed. And then when you get all bugged out, that's where their pharmaceuticals step in, so they can give you pills to make you fucking feel better, man. Now, now they just straight up giving people fucking heroin and shit, man. Methadone. They, you know, for a long time, weed was illegal because they couldn't tax it. Now they're legalizing it. Why? Because they want y'all to be fucking stoned all the time, man. They don't want you to be thinking about what's going on in the world.
And they see that they could tax the shit out of it. Because when you go go to these dispensaries, and when you purchase something from there, there's like 4 different kinds of tax on top of the price of the product. You got to pay marijuana tax. You got to pay a state tax. You got to pay a federal tax, and then you have to pay city tax. So there's like 4 different types of tax you pay. There's a regular tax, there's a state tax, a federal tax, and a marijuana tax. So it's like 3 or 4, but still, you know, and all those products in there, majority of them is GMO weed, man. Okay, like all these different weird strains you got, that's all genetically modified shit. You know, I don't want to go into that topic, but it's true.
It's all Esau approved.
You know, because there was ancient strains that the Aztecs, Mayans, and all them had, like Panama Red and Acapulco Gold and all these what you would call land race strains. The Lord created, you know, specific seeds. And the Lord said not to mingle these seeds. But what does Esau do, being the master chemist? Being a sorcerer, a witch. They would splice these different herbs, you know, and produce, what it does is it'll produce a chemical imbalance in your brain, you know. So yeah.
So they got the you know, and that's what the RFID microchip is all about as well. Is so that any dealings that you may do in the world, you can't slide nothing under the table.
Well, yeah, they want to do away with that, all that. So you people are going to be brought to just a complete slave.
Yep, they can tax everything, man, every damn thing.
This is verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great. So that was written on that woman, the whore's forehead. Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Why? Because it was a mystery.
It still is to a lot of people.
Yep.
You know, the Amos 3:7 says he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So this mystery Babylon, being America, isn't going to be understood by the mass population. It's not going to be understood by the dead. It's only going to be understood by the elect. Okay, what does it say in Daniel? That many shall awake from the dust.
Many shall be purified and tried.
Yep, and made white.
And the wise shall. None of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand.
There it is. So if you can't understand this truth, ultimately the Lord has deemed you wicked. That's why it says in the book of John that you are of your father the devil. You know, you'll fulfill the lusts of your father, which is Esau, the so-called white man, the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan.
Let me
yeah, Con, while you do that, I'm gonna finish this.
I want to grab something real quick, cause and hopefully they don't Esau don't catch it. But I want to play this George Carlin clip.
But say what you want about America, land of the free, home of the brave. We got some dumbass motherfuckers floating around this country. Dumbass motherfuckers. That only a really low IQ population could have taken this beautiful continent, this magnificent American landscape that we inherited. Well, actually, we stole it from the Mexicans and the Indians, but hey, it was nice when we stole it. It looked pretty good. It was pristine. Paradise. Have you seen it lately? Have you taken a good look at it lately? It's fucking embarrassing. Only a nation of unenlightened half-wits could have taken this beautiful place and turned it into what it is today, a shopping mall. a big fucking shopping mall. You know that?
That's basically what I wanted to play. He said only a nation of unenlightened halfwits, that's Esau, took this beautiful land, as he said, and turned it into what it is today, a giant shopping mall.
Magtesh, the merchant city. Okay, that's straight up. There's no way around it. You know, you look at the biggest consumer countries in the world. America is the #1 consumer country. This is that city that made all these nations rich. Okay? So back in this, verse 5 again, and then 6. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, just like George Carlin said. They stole it from the Mexicans and the Indians. So check this out. And I saw the woman, the whore, Mystery Babylon the Great, drunken with the blood of the saints. How did they get this land? They slaughtered and butchered, raped, robbed, and murdered so-called Native Americans, Latinos, Caribbean Indians, whatever you want to label them. We'll just say what it is. They're the real Israelites, the children of Israel. And with the blood of the martyrs of Yahushai, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. Because not only is it just Israelites being killed, but the martyrs of Yahushai. And when you look at the word martyr, it means a witness, which is what we're doing when we go out on the highways and byways, being the prophets of the Lord. We're witnessing, we're giving you witness of Yahushai. You know, you got these Jehovah Witnesses, they go door to door. Well, that's pretty much what a witness is a martyr. Okay, you're a witness to something righteous, they're gonna martyr you. Boy, when you just look up the word, that's what it means. And it says, and when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. So just what causes these nations, compels them to come here. They look at this place with great admiration when they see it on the TV. So when John the Revelator seen this whore decked out, he was in admiration and awe. He was like, wow, what is this? And come to find out, this is that place, man. At one time, America was a golden cup, as it says. It was a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the nations drink. Now look at these nations. They're drunk. They're gone. They're out there producing, abominable foods and presenting it as something clean. They're following the trends of Esau, being homosexuals, lesbians. Now in these other countries, they're fucking smoking weed and doing cocaine and all kinds of crazy shit. Why? Because that cup of abominations was passed to these other nations, man.
Yep, that American lifestyle of, living fast and dying young, man. And that's something that was majorly pushed on Jake, living fast and dying young, or you only live once, so do the most that you can. Look, even on this New York Post website, I've already seen like fucking 50 ads come up trying to sell you progressive insurance. They're always trying to sell you something here, man. Let's get into this article. So it says Cuomo begs rich New Yorkers to leave Hampton. So they're booking it, man.
Well, before you do that, let me read this real quick.
Okay.
Because I've looked up what the Hamptons are, and the history of the Hamptons. It says the Hampton history as a dwelling place for the wealthy dates from the late 19th century, when their community changed from a farming community with good potato ground to a popular destination in 1893. This is New York Times wrote, the beautiful villages clustering around Old Southampton, including Quo, Good Ground, the rest of the Hamptons, and the incomparable Shinnecock Hills, combined to make as close an approach to Eden as can be found in a long journey. Exclusive in the best sense of the word, society here is represented during the summer by its choicest spirits.
It said exclusive in the best sense of the word, meaning that you gotta be a rich asshole to even get near that place, man.
Says well-bred men and women find a congenial atmosphere, refined attractions in plenty, and innumerable charms about these quaint old villages. So of course, this is what the Hamptons are. If you were rich, that sounds like the place you'd want to be.
That's the place. Yeah, it sounds like the place to go.
So when the brother's gonna start reading, that's just a clue of why they don't want to fucking go back to New York.
Yep, they're dipping out. It says, return to New York City, come over, I'll cook. Governor Andrew Cuomo has been begging rich people to return to New York City from their second home retreats so they can pay taxes to help offset the state's growing coronavirus-related revenue shortfall. So basically, these rich people see that New York is being destroyed, that New York is tanking, and they're jumping ship. They're getting the fuck out of there, man. Said, I literally talked to people all day long who are now in their Hamptons house, who also lived here, or in their Hudson Valley house, or in their Connecticut weekend house, and I say, you got to come back. We'll go to dinner. I'll buy a drink. Come over. I'll cook. The Democratic governor said Monday. This is him basically on his knees. They're not coming back right now. And you know what else they're thinking? If I stay there, I'll pay a lower income tax because they don't pay the New York City surcharge, he added, noting the wealthiest 1% of the Empire State's population picks up roughly 50% of the state's tax burden. And so, if I was rich, I wouldn't want to stay there either. The plea comes amid diming hopes that the federal government's next COVID-19 relief package will contain any additional aid for struggling state and local governments. If additional dollars don't come to New York on top of waning revenue streams, Cuomo and other states' officials have said the hit could translate to 20% cuts to health, education, and local government's annual budget. And what's local government include? Fire stations, police stations, ambulance, all these different things, welfare, government aid, assistance. That's a 20% cut to all these things. Education, schools.
There ain't gonna be no schools.
There ain't gonna be shit.
There's gonna be wild people out here.
Yep, it's gonna be nothing but squalor, man. Meanwhile, Cuomo has said, and that's what you see happening. You see this place is circling the drain. It's just waxing worse and worse, and it's just going to continue to do that. And what you're going to see is the poverty go up, the homelessness go up. You're going to see more people losing their jobs, higher taxes, higher gas prices, higher food prices, higher housing. Everything is going to rise up, but your ability to get money to pay for things is going to keep going down. So everything's going to be out of reach. And so what are people going to resort to? Fucking crime, man. Drugs are going to boom. Alcohol is going to boom. Gun violence is going to boom. You're going to have people selling food on the street, man.
If they got any food.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're gonna
famine's gonna come.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go to murderers to get food because they're gonna be fucking hoarding it. You're gonna have to go to gangs and shit like that, man. Be able to do what you gotta do, man. Because that's basically what's coming.
Yeah, you're gonna even go to Esau, but in those times, they're gonna start implementing the chip. They're gonna start implementing the vaccines, and they're not gonna help you unless you have a vaccine or the chip, because they're already pushing an agenda for what they're going to do to people that don't get vaccines, or how they're going to allow them to preserve themselves in this society although they don't get a vaccine. Because you already see now everywhere you go, you have to wear a mask. So they're going to push the vaccine, and if you don't have proof of the vaccine, you're not going to be entitled to these certain things that people are, like going to the theater or even just going to school or the hospital. You're not going to be able to do these things unless you have that vaccine. So they're already pushing an agenda of what they're going to do for people that don't have those things. So if you think about going to Esau, during those times, it's going to be a trap.
That's the scripture. Woe to you that go to Egypt for help.
Ultimately you're going to lose.
Yeah.
With these Jews.
That's why I'm saying, like, if you want anything, you're gonna have to find other ways to get it. Because if you go to Esau is going to tell you, look, you got it. Well, then you're gonna need a vaccine. Eventually, it's gonna be you're gonna need a vaccine and a microchip. And then after that point passes, it's gonna be you're gonna get it or we're gonna kill you. There's gonna come a point when they're gonna fucking, it's not gonna be optional anymore. It's continuing on. Meanwhile, Cuomo has said he's not keen on raising taxes for the wealthy, adding it wouldn't be enough to cover the state's growing deficit, which a deficit is a decline. Pegged, basically, is debt. That's what a deficit is. Pegged at around $30 billion over the next 2 years. So they're $30 billion in debt. But he's at odds with leaders in the state legislature, particularly State Senate Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins and Assembly Speaker Carl Hastie, who last week diverged from Cuomo, arguing that raising taxes on New York's wealthiest is something they would consider and support. Well, how are you going to fucking do that if they're all leaving? The Democrat-run legislature has been working on an alternative fiscal package over the last several weeks in case Washington doesn't come through. And so in case the federal government doesn't come through and give that stimulus package, they're working on their own state relief package. They have to deliver. We have federal representatives, we have senators, and we have Congress people. We pay them to pass a piece of legislation that's going to help New York, and it's simple. If the federal legislature is not going to help New York, you know what I say to them? Don't pass it. It can't pass without you. Don't pass a piece of legislation that doesn't restore New York's funds. The third-term Democrat continued Monday and appointed jab at New York's federal delegation. If you pass a piece of legislation that requires New York to raise taxes, raise a millionaire's tax in this environment in New York City where we're struggling, we used to be worried with a millionaire's tax people might leave, he continued. So that's what they're doing, they're leaving. Said, no, the burden shifted, we're trying to get people to come back. We're trying to get them to come back. COVID's under control. We're going to make progress helping the homeless. We're going to clean up the graffiti. We're going to fix crime. And how are you going to do all that? That's not going to happen. These are all. Esau is lying right here. As we read in the scripture, he's a fucking liar. That's all he's doing is like, hey, come back. We're going to fix all this. We're going to clean the streets up. We're going to do all these things. It's going to go back to normal. COVID is under control. Oh, now that all the rich people bounced out, now all of a sudden COVID is under control. This is Esau's double forked fucking tongue right here, man. On top of that, you're gonna say, and by the way, when you come back, you get a big tax increase, he added. The dire picture is only compounded as the unemployment rate in the 5 boroughs hovers at 18%. Over 80% of restaurants cannot meet monthly rent obligations, and thousands could face eviction notices from landlords within the next couple months.
Yep. That's true. Rent out here in California is going up everywhere. You see these restaurants and whatnot, they're closed. Eventually they're just going to have to go, the building is going to go up for lease. There's going to be another market crash real soon. This is James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Yeah, because you're going to lose everything. You rich people, you Edomites, you're going to lose everything. You're going to lose your mansions. You're going to lose your houses. You're going to lose all that stuff. The life that you had here in America, you're going to lose it, man.
Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten.
Yeah, your riches are corrupted because everything that you got, you inherited through lies, through wickedness, through witchcraft, through abominations, through bloodshed, through murder, through slavery. Everything that you got it in these ways. And so your riches are corrupted, man.
Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have reaped treasure together for the last days. Behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth.
Which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. The hire of the laborers that have reaped down your fields. These Jake and the Israelites and a lot of these regular ass people that's in a bad situation that have been working and been being defrauded, man. Especially Jake being denied all these different pleasures and different things. And when I say pleasures, I mean just being able to go to the bank and get a loan for something, man. You've denied Israel all types of things and defrauded them with legislation, with your paperwork, so that you could be greedy and basically keep as much as you possibly could for yourself and give the bare minimum to Jake and a lot of these people that's out here, and so now look, now you have all these people fucking rising up, and what are they saying? They're saying death to the rich, man. Go ahead.
Yep. And when it says the laborers who have reaped down your fields, that isn't just talking about these field jobs, because in all actuality, this whole system of Esau is called a work field. So it's talking about any job.
Mm-hmm.
It says, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
Yeah, because here it is, you've been catching hell all this time in America, and now all of a sudden shit's going down, and where are the rich people at? Where are all the people that you've been working for? Where's the landlord, basically? It's like if you lived in an apartment and it got fucking infested with rats and roaches and mold, and you've been paying a fat ass rent for years, and then you call the landlord to come and, hey man, I got all this shit going on with my apartment, I need you to fix it. This motherfucker just dips out. Oh, sorry, you just gonna have to deal with that. Or even worse, blames it on you. It's your fault that all this shit's happening. You gotta get the fuck out. That's basically what Esau is doing.
It says, ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. You have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter. Ye have condemned and killed the just, and he doth not resist you. Be patient, therefore, brethren, unto the coming of the Lord. Behold, the husbandman waiteth for the precious fruit of the earth, and hath long patience for it, until he receive the early and latter rain. Be also patient. Establish your hearts, for the coming of the Lord draweth nigh.
Yeah, so basically what's going on is, as you see things getting worse and worse, you're not supposed to be in an uproar about it. You're not supposed to be picking up guns and demanding reparations and demand, my ancestors and all this and we and all this and this and that. You got to fucking do this and that for us. Well, the Lord's going to do all that for you. He's going to destroy this devil and give you everything if you wait for him. But you got to believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai, because that's the judge. That's who's going to judge this guy and these other nations and give you your reward, man, which is the hire of you've been doing, the hire of your labor and the recompense of all the wickedness that's befallen you. Esau's got to pay all that back. He's been withholding it from you all this time, but when you find out the truth, you're supposed to believe in the fact that Yahweh Shai is going to come back and take everything from this devil and give it to you, right? Because you were patient, because you waited, you did what the Lord said to do. But if you fucking try and strong arm this guy, you try and strong arm the strong arm master, you're gonna fucking be, you're gonna find yourself in a very bad situation, man. And that's the whole point of the matter, as it tells you to wait upon me. So, marching and carrying signs and screaming and spitting and hooping and hollering ain't gonna get you anything but a fucking a rifle a rifle in your face, man. That's all that's gonna get you. But being patient and doing what you're supposed to be doing, that's the message, right? The message is telling Jake, like, hey, you're the Israelites. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is going to judge this dude. It's just a matter of time. The Lord is just letting this guy, fulfill the prophecies that he's supposed to fulfill and do what he's supposed to do on the earth, and then once that's fulfilled, the Lord's going to come and grab him, take his ass out, man.
Yeah. This is Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Yeah, it says rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. And it says in the scriptures, you're dwelling in heavenly places. You're dwelling in the heavens because you have heavenly knowledge. You have that understanding. You have that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. So like, all right, all I got to do is just suffer. Just be patient. Just go through whatever I got to go through, and at the end, it's all going to be worked out.
Well, Yahweh Shai said it best. He said, the kingdom of heaven cometh not with observation. Lo here or lo there. He said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. So when it says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, that's talking about the men of the Lord. That's talking about the 1/3. So rejoice in these times. Rejoice that you see that we're at the end. Because many prophets, many wise men, desire to see these days. And they didn't see them then. But now they see them now because those men are reincarnated, But this is just a blessing to be able to see and understand that we're at the end. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, which are these peons, these people that are not partaking of that resurrection, It says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, and here's the point, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Yep, he knows that he has a short time, so he's going to come down having great wrath.
Yep, that's what he's doing right now. Spreading these plagues and saying, well, now you got to get a vaccine. The vaccine is just to condition you people that you're complying with Esau. So when the time comes, he's going to plan another terrorist attack, or he's going to blame the Israelites for being the epitome of the world's evil. And he's going to say, you know what? We're going to have to microchip everybody. Oh, you say you're not a terrorist, you're not with those guys. Well, then take this microchip so we can conduct and see everything you're doing, so we know you're a good guy. That's what the world is shifting to, There isn't, like I say, man, if there is a plague, there is a plague. I have never seen a person infected. We haven't heard of people that we know close to us actually being infected, that actually have died, from a plague. People get admitted to the hospital for a cold, and automatically they step up and say, okay, you got coronavirus. And then he dies of something else, and they'll say, oh, it was a coronavirus death. So, I honestly don't believe that there is a virus, but Esau is going to use that to push his agenda, the New World Order, and that is it's gonna come to its 99%, but it'll never go to 100, because the Lord said when he's about to fill his belly, the Lord is going to destroy him. That he's not going to get his enterprise, but he's going to come damn near close. That's all I had to say.
Yep. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. It went on way longer than You know. Anyways, hey, all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and shalom to the brethren. All right, shalom.
Shalom.